Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Claire McCormack.
The clouds may finally part. For the first time in a week, you can give your umbrella a break and break out your sunglasses because we'll have some sunshine on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Today, it's cloudy with a 60% chance of showers and a high of 6. The low tonight will be +2. Saturday will be cloudy with a chance of showers in the morning, then clearing up with a high of 6 and a low of 2. Sunday will be sunny with a high of 5 and a low of -1. Monday will be sunny with a high of +3 and a low of -3. And Tuesday will be sunny with a high of 6 and a low of -2. That's it for weather. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Claire. Turning now to national and international news. It will cost Canada almost $1 billion to withdraw from the war in Afghanistan. The final figure is expected to be over $900 million. Weapons, ammunition, and vehicles that have to be sent back to Canada account for $650 million of the cost. Other expenses cover soldier salaries and support for those returning from Kandahar. Both opposition defense critics say a factor of the cost stems from Harper's fallout with the United Arab Emirates in late 2010, after Canada was forced to move a military base from Dubai to Kuwait.
A class action lawsuit over a fatal train derailment last February has been given the go-ahead by Ontario's Supreme Court. The Via Rail crash that killed 3 crew members and injured dozens of passengers was found to be the result of speeding. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada says the train was traveling 4 times the authorized limit when derailed. The suit is seeking $10 million in compensation for physical and emotional injuries, damage to property, and loss of income for 68 passengers.
The costs continue to rise for repairs to Parliament's West Block building. Initially estimated at over $750 million in 2005, the newest figures show an increase of over $400 million. The figures were released this week in federal public accounts for 2012's fiscal year. Public Works is insisting the number for the restoration remains the same. They say the figure is simply a total of all costs relating to the project, including the relocation of MP offices during construction.
Long lines and fuel shortages following Hurricane Sandy have reportedly led to fighting at New York and New Jersey gas stations. Authorities say one man was arrested after cutting in line at a Queens gas station and aiming a gun at another person. Sandy is expected to cost America about $50 billion US. About 15% of New York State and 45% of New Jersey are still without electricity. Electricity suppliers say some regions may be without power until November 11th.
Amnesty International and the United Nations are condemning Syrian rebels for a video showing a potential war crime. It allegedly shows the beating and shooting of government soldiers as part of protests against President Bashar al-Assad. It is believed the executions happened after rebels took over army checkpoints on Thursday. The UN will investigate the video's authenticity as part of their examinations on the troubled country. It is reported over 36,000 people have been killed in government and rebel attacks since violence began in March 2011. The UN spokesman says the Syrian investigation is almost certain to go before the International Criminal Court.
Hyundai and Kia are apologizing, but will need to pay up with more than a sorry. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has found the car companies have been overstating their gas mileage by 1 to 6 gallons per mile. Car company executives say they'll pay the mileage difference for every year the car has been in service. It is expected to cost millions of dollars a year in payments to the 900,000 Americans and 172,000 Canadian car and SUV owners. This impacts 13 models released between 2010 to 2012, including Hyundai's Elantra and Accent and Kia's Rio and Optima Hybrid.
Now with your sports news, here's Katie Fraser.
The Humber men's and women's volleyball teams opened the season last night against the Conestoga Condors. The women's team swept the Condors in 3 sets. Player of the game honors went to Talia Hanneman for her 3 kills and 3 service aces in the 3rd set alone. And the men did just as well, beating the Condors in 3 sets. Player of the game award went to Marcus Poldman, who had 9 kills, 4 of them in the 3rd set. An excellent start to the season for both teams. And it's a big weekend for Hawks basketball. The men's and women's teams will be taking on the Mohawk Mountaineers on Saturday. The women's team has lost their top 2 scorers from last year, but Coach AJ Sharma says the new recruits are looking to bring new energy to the team. And we can expect a good game from the men's team as they take on their old rivals. The Mohawks won the CCAA last year just after beating the Humber Hawks in the OCAA championship. The women tip off at 2 p.m. and the men at 4 here at the North Campus. Will today be another day of disappointment for hockey fans? It's expected that a decision will be made today about the NHL's fan favorite Winter Classic. The NHL has a contract with the University of Michigan to hold the outdoor event, and if the NHL doesn't officially cancel by today, they'll lose more than the $100,000 deposit. This year's Classic is scheduled to be between the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Students at Humber aren't happy about the lockout or the cancellation of the event.
Upset. You know, the three walkouts in a small amount of time is, you know, it's not fair to us.
I think I'm pretty angry about it. I mean, it's just kind of like pointless in most parts, and like I just want to watch hockey.
And in CFL news, the Toronto Argonauts beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats last night, meaning the Argos are headed to the playoffs. The Argos wide receiver Chad Owens broke the CFL's single-season all-purpose yards record, and kicker Swayze Waters made a 51-yard field goal with no time remaining for the unexpected 43-40 win over the Ticats. The Ticats are out of the playoff contention, and Toronto will host either Saskatchewan or Edmonton in the East Division semifinal on November 11th. In MLS action, the Vancouver Whitecaps are out officially of the playoffs this season. The Whitecaps lost to the Los Angeles Galaxy last night 2-1. Although the Whitecaps had a strong start early in the game, the Galaxy's star-studded team made a comeback in the end. The Galaxy go on to play the San Jose Earthquakes this Sunday. And that's all for your sports news today. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Jeanette Liu.
Springsteen and Jay-Z will hit the stage in support of President Obama on his final campaign day. But who will perform for Mitt Romney? Stay tuned because I've got all that and more coming up after the break.